Hello friends, this is Sagar
Hello
More and
friends,
today in
my
this
name is
video
Sagar
we
More
are going to
and today
learn
in this
HTML
video we are
image,
going to
image
see
map,
HTML.
image background and picture. So let's start with the images first. In this chapter you will see how images works in HTML web page. On my screen you can see multiple images are there and these images are created with the help of image tag. Let's see how to write image tag in HTML. So let me run the code and at the left hand side you can see the code is written where image tag is written and multiple attribute and value combination is there. If you look at this code you will see img tag is written, which is an empty tag, so you don't need to close it by mentioning the tag name again with /. You can just keep it or just close it with the / at the end before greater than. And this particular image tag has attributes like src, alt, height, width and so on. We can also give style attribute if you want like this to mention height and width, and other properties like border or border radius or any other property you would like. So here if you look at the tag itself, since it is empty tag I am closing it with /. I can write width 100 and it is in pixel by default, so this is getting applied. img tag has style attribute as well, so you can use that to give width or height or border, and here I'm writing 150 pixel. Let me run this and if you see the image is getting resized. So the thing here you should learn is whether attribute value will get applied or inline style value will get applied. So here inline means, so 150 is getting applied. So you can keep in mind that while adding the attributes, if you have style attribute you can just write width there as well, and if you have width as an attribute then both of these when applied the style attribute wins instead of width attribute. Okay, so we have just seen how height and width works and which one has more priority. So style attribute has more priority, and if you consider internal style sheet versus width and height attribute to the image, then internal style sheet always wins. So here 128 pixel of height and width is applied to the first image. If I run the code you will see it is not 128 pixel but width 100%, which is applied in internal CSS. And the second image has 128 pixels since it is inline style sheet only. Okay, so next thing is absolute path versus relative path. So the path you are seeing on the screen is relative path. It says the html5.gif image is present inside images folder. So this is how you have to write a path, and if it is external path you can just paste the whole code here as a URL. So this is a absolute path and it is used when control of that image is not in your hand, it is somewhere else on the internet, then you can use this. Like let me search an image to just apply it here in our example. So let's consider this is the image, and let me select the image and get the image URL. So in the address bar there is a URL which I will replace here and run the code. See, you can see the image is getting applied, and this is because the external path which I used with absolute path. Okay, so here is another example where GIF is there, graphical interchange format, which is the animated version of the image, and we can look for any other image on the Google, and when we find that we just have to get its path, and once we get the path we can just replace the path in the src attribute. So whenever you try to give image to the img tag, make sure that you give it in the src attribute value. Now I will take one of these images to show you how we can give in our document, but this time I will save it in my folder, so I don't need to call it again and again with the help of absolute path, but I can use relative path since it is saved in my folder. Because if you use absolute path and tomorrow let's say that server deletes that image, then you will not see the image you wanted to see on your web page, right? So instead of relying on the external server or the external path, which is absolute path, why don't we just save the image in our folder and see it is getting applied. So this is how you can just store the image and apply it in your document. Now let's see how you can just link the image with external URL. And yesterday we have seen this. In the anchor tag, if you just enclose the img tag and if you click on it, the website gets open. This we have already covered. And this is something related to the float. So whenever you want to float image to the left or right, you can just apply float property. Float is a CSS property and you can give value as left, right, and by default none is the value, because even though you see image as left starting from left, but it is not floated, means it does not loses its position. But the time when you give float left, now see it is not losing its position. The text is also getting started from below the image, but when you give this float left property, see the paragraph will move and stick at the image level from where it is starting. So see, the paragraph has moved to the top, but it found the image is there, so it cannot just take the place of image because image has to be there, but the image has float left and that's why it is sticking to the left. And the same way float right works as given on the screen. When you cut this float right, then by default the image is at the left hand side, but it is not float left, it is a default position which is float none, and the paragraph is starting from below. By the time you write float right or float left to this image, the image loses its default position, which is float none, and it sticks to either float left or float right as you have given. So here I am writing float left, so the paragraph will move to the top because it is trying to get the position which image has, but it has found that image is already there and it is stick to the left. I am changing it to right, and this time the image is at the right hand side, but the paragraph is still there. So this way, if whenever you want to float the image or stick the image to the left or right, you can just use float property of the CSS. Okay, so these are the extensions of the images which are supported by the browsers, and we have learned about image, src, width, height and other attributes in this chapter. Now we will look at image map. Let's say you have a photograph of a family or a group and you want a functionality implemented on that photograph in such a way that, let's say, these 4 pictures or 3 pictures are getting shown in a single photograph, and you want to click on each picture, but you want to open each URL on that click. So let's say there are 4 members in a photo, and if you click on the first member, the first HTML file should get open. If you click on second member photo or the image, the google.com should get open, and the same way if you click on third member photo, then let's say YouTube should get open. So that is also possible in HTML without JavaScript, and that is called as image map. The image map concept allows you to create area on your image in such a way that that area becomes the link, and you can click that area and open any hypertext reference you have configured here in the HTML. HTML. By the way, if you look at the code, you will see there is an image tag, which is normal because you have already seen the image tag, but it has an attribute this time, which is use map. So the src you can see, or the alt you can see as usual, and height also and width also there. But this new attribute use map, which is to tell the browser which area or which map it should refer to create the areas on the image, that is this attribute represents, and its value is name of that map area or map tag which it should refer as areas. So hash work map is the name of map tag which we have created here below the image tag. Let me show you that. Here on my screen you can see map tag to which name attribute is assigned, and value of name attribute is exactly same as value of use map attribute, only hash is the difference. So in use map you have to prefix hash before the value name, and in map area or map tag you have name attribute to which you can just apply the name of the map as is. So on this image I am going to create multiple areas. So let's say one area could be the laptop itself, second could be this coffee image, and third we can consider this mobile phone. For these three areas, here we have created these three area tags which are empty tags as a child of map tag, and this map is named as work map. So there could be 10 or 100 maps like this, right? And our image should know which one to refer, and that's why we have given unique name attribute to each of our map. So here work map is one map, India is other map, or USA could be the another map, or whichever it could be. Let me delete this India map or USA map because we are using work map here. So there could be multiple maps, and out of these which our image uses, that we have to tell to our image, and that's the reason we use map. It tells which map to be used. Hash should be there inside a value of use map, and we should navigate or write a name of the map which we are trying to refer to this image, and other maps we can ignore. So here three areas are there for the map tag. Both means all these three areas are empty tags to which we are writing some shape and coordinates and alt attributes and href. Href is the important because it tells that for that particular area when user clicks on it where to redirect. Okay, so now I will write the name as is here in use map, which is our work map, and I can just copy paste this image tag again and again, change the name or src of that image to India, USA, or any other map. And in that, if I want to highlight states or link the states or create the areas on the states, I can create other maps for other images. So this is the example how image maps are getting created. I have not shown you the functionality of it. So this is just I'm trying to help you to understand how different images can have different image maps linked. So right now we will focus on our work map only, which is the first map tag named as name is equal to work map. And when I run this and click on this laptop image, the image is only one, but there are other photos present in that image, right? So I have given href as computer.html, and when I click on this laptop, the laptop page is getting open. I can go back and click on phone image. If you look at the cursor, it is getting changed to pointer when I hover my mouse over that phone image, and to that image I am referring these coordinates with this href as phone.html. See my cursor, it is getting changed to pointer whenever I move my mouse on the phone only, and when I click on it, the phone HTML page is getting opened. Let me go back and do the same thing with coffee image as well. Ultimately the image is only one, but we are creating different link areas on that image. So here shape is circle instead of rectangle, because phone and laptop can be considered as rectangle, but this coffee is a circular shape here on our photo, and to that also coordinates are already written. Don't worry about the coordinates, I will tell you the way to get the coordinates. For now, see the example. When I click on this copy, the coffee page is getting opened. So this is image map, which you can create on a single image but with multiple links on different areas. Now I will show you how to generate these coordinates, how to get these coordinates on your own. So you don't need to ask your designer or Photoshop user to give you the coordinates. You can get it on your own. So I need to copy this code in my local machine. So because we will need address bar, and coordinates can be seen in the address bar, but here iframe is there at the right hand side for the output, and for that iframe I won't be able to see the address bar, because current address bar here on my screen is for entire screen, which is try it yourself editor, and not only for that iframe which is as using as output. So let me just copy the code. So this is my editor. I have copied the code. I am currently using Notepad since we have just started with learning HTML, and I don't want to confuse the user with Visual Studio Code, Notepad++, and other IDEs, means code editors. Here my image name is india.jpg is the path. An alt attribute I have used, that is to show which image it was supposed to load if in case image fails to load due to various reasons, whether the path is incorrect or spelling mistake is there or your network has stopped working, whatever it could be. Whenever image does not load, at that time alt attribute shows what image it was. So India will be shown as a value which is present in the alt attribute. By the way, this use map ind I have created here, so I need to name it ind to the map tag as a name value. Now both values are same. Width and height I will remove it for now, and let me run the code first. So I will need an image of India first. So let me get one of these images, and I will create areas for Maharashtra and other states as well on the same image. I am saving that image in my folder so that I can use it, and once it is loaded I will generate or create the coordinates. And you have to focus how we can create the coordinates, because this is something which is not readily available on the internet, and if you look at the w3school.com as well, you won't find this solution to create the coordinates on your own. So once I start generating or creating the coordinates, you should see or note down the process of it. So I have saved one of these images. Now let me use that image in my web page and open the web page. Okay, let me rename it to India, and this is the image. I will open my HTML page here to see how it loads. Okay, so India image has loaded. Let me remove this Taj Mahal image. We don't need that. We don't need this paragraph as well. Let me refresh, and here is our image. That is because of image tag we can see the image. Now we will create coordinates or areas over this image. So ind and ind name is matching, use map, and in order to generate the coordinates, I need to change the attribute from useMap to isMap, and I don't want this ind value to that, because isMap is the attribute which does not require any value, and that is to get the coordinates. First of all, I will remove these area tags, because first we will try with one single coordinate. If we are able to do that, we will create multiple coordinates as well. So here I am writing isMap instead of useMap, and I am not going to give any value to it. So this attribute tells the browser that image is already a map. It is already a clickable element, but in order to make it clickable and get the coordinates out of it, we need to enclose this img tag inside anchor tag, but we should not give any value to the href of anchor tag. Let me show you how. Okay, so here is my anchor tag starting point, and I'm ending that below the image tag, and our image tag has to be a child of anchor tag, and href attribute I should write to the anchor tag, and here href value should be hash, because if you write href attribute and is equal to symbol and double quotes, and if you don't write anything in the double quotes, then the image will be clickable, but when you click on it, the page will get refreshed again and again whenever you click on that anchor tag, because when you give blank value to the href attribute, it refers to the same document and it refreshes the page each time. So if it refresh, we won't be able to see the coordinates in the address bar, right? So that's why we have to give href hash, and when you do that, it does not refresh the page. Let's click on Maharashtra and see the address bar. The time when I click on Maharashtra, the address bar has hash attached to the URL, and after that we can see 176,168, and that is the coordinate. That is the coordinate of the XYZ axis where they meet together, and from there we can write circle or rectangle and give other coordinates as well. So let's say this Maharashtra is a rectangle, or we can create the circle as well, whichever way. So this is the coordinate, right? I can click somewhere else also and see the address bar. It will get changed. Look at this 176 comma this 460, right? And now it is getting changed as and when I click on the image. So it's up to you for your image what coordinates you want and where you want to click. Let's say we want to create the rectangle, then we will need 4 coordinates. One is the first xy axis meeting point, and the other is the ending point of that rectangle. So let's say these are the coordinates. I copied the coordinates. The shape is rectangle. Coordinates we just have to copy and paste it here. So this whole 4 things I have removed, and I just copied the first x and y axis meeting point, which is this, and now I will need the second coordinates, right? The second coordinates could be, let's say, the Maharashtra range starting from that point, and let me show you first how it creates that xy axis and coordinates. So I'm writing this rectangle, right? From where I started from the top left, and I ended here. Here is the top left, here is the bottom right, and whenever we want to start the rectangle, we start from one position and end at this last position, which is bottom right, and the computer creates these 4 sides of the rectangle, and we have to give just these 2 coordinates, which is xy axis of first point and xy axis of second point. So let's say second point is here somewhere where my pointer is, right? I will click here, I will get these coordinates from the address bar. I will just copy it and paste it in my code. So rectangle has 4 coordinates. I will save it and let's see the output. But before that, hold on. Here isMap has to change to useMap because our job is done. We have got the coordinates and we have to again refer that useMap to the name, which is IND, which is our map name, map tag name. And now we have to remove anchor tag as well, because anchor tag we have used to have a link to generate the coordinates with isMap. Now isMap is removed, anchor tag also should be removed, and now useMap refers to the map. I saved the code. Let me refresh it, and now if you see I have removed the coordinates as well from there. Refresh the code. I am on the image, but the pointer icon is not there. But when I move my mouse to this Maharashtra, the pointer icon is there, and when I click on it, the Maharashtra or whichever URL you have configured, it will get opened. For now it is computer.html, which is in my code, and I have not changed it, and that file is not present in my folder, right? So instead of this computer.html, I will use another file. Let's say mah.html for Maharashtra. I have to create that file, right? So I will just here rename the file, one of these files. So I have extra files present here in my folder, and when I refresh and try it again, at this time instead of computer, Maharashtra will get open. Let me click on the Maharashtra area. See, mas.html is present, but here html is the file name in my case, and in the code htm is there, so I added the l as well. Now let me refresh. Let me click on this Maharashtra area and see this file is getting open. So likewise, you can create areas on one single image for other states or other pictures in your case, and open whichever URL you want. And it's not required to write a file name only. If you want, you can use google.com, facebook.com as well in href, but make sure that you write the path correctly. It starts with http:// and then google.com or whatever website you want to open. Here I have the pages in my folder, so I have used that. And likewise, there could be multiple areas as given here, but the coordinates will be different. For rectangle, 4 coordinates are required. For circle, only 3 coordinates are required. And for poly shape, multiple coordinates are required as per your shape of area. For an example, let's consider we want to write a circle area. Create a circle area here somewhere for, let's say, Sikkim or Goa are the states where we can use these circle area, right? So I will create another area tag here, and I have to give 3 coordinates. I have just received the coordinate these 2, 522 and 263, and the third coordinate is the radius, and that is up to you how much area of circle you want, right? And you can try with this, or you only need these 2 coordinates for the circle, x and y axis meeting point, and the third coordinate is the radius only, so you can give it as per your requirement. For now I have given 40, and the shape, look at the shape attribute of the second area, there it has to circle. Then from isMap to useMap I am changing. I will remove this anchor tag as well. Usemap is again referring to the IND name, which is map name, and here I will refresh the page and see when I move my mouse to Sikkim, there is a pointer icon, but it has created a quite bit large circle, and that's why when I move my mouse outside of Sikkim little bit, then also pointer is there. So instead of 40 I will write 20 radius. Now refresh the page, and now see that pointer icon is not there, even I am near to the Sikkim, but when I am on Sikkim it is opening this website, right? So instead of this Maharashtra, you can open any other web page as well, like sikkim.html, but we have to create that, right, in our folder. Okay, so that was about how we can create the image map and how we can generate the coordinates on our own. In this chapter we have seen how to create image maps on the image, and image is the only one, but the areas are different, and to each area we have given different URLs, mean the hrefs. So in this case, the image was this image where we have given areas like coffee, laptop, or phone. But what about the areas like poly, which is polygon? These are not defined areas like rectangle and circle. Your area could be anything like this image. Here it is bun or bread, you can say, where the shape is not rectangle or circle, and you will need these many coordinates or more than that or less than that as well as per your shape. But the shape attribute should have poly in it. And how you will get that coordinates is you just have to click on the corners, right, on the borders, and as you click you will get the coordinates on the address bar. And one by one, whenever you click on here, then when you click on the next point, then you will get different coordinates on the address bar. You just have to copy and paste these coordinates one by one, so that whenever you end doing the last coordinate will connect to the first coordinate automatically, and it will create the shape, and then you can give the href, just like this circle example, right? This is something related to JavaScript. On click my function, and function will run an alert you will be able to see. This we are not covering in our HTML series, but I hope you understood how we can create image map. But still, if you want to see how JavaScript works, see this, I clicked on coffee and it is giving me this alert, which is a JavaScript code. But later we will see it in JavaScript when I create JavaScript related videos. For now, just understand how to create the image map. Now, the third chapter is background images, and it is very easy. With the help of style attribute or internal style or external style, you can attach any background image to an element. So here on my screen, you can see there is a paragraph tag to which style attribute is assigned. And to this style attribute, I have used CSS property value combination, which is background image, and value of it is in a URL function. So URL is a function in CSS. It has to be written like URL and parenthesis. See this URL function, how it is written. And now you have to add your relative or absolute path of your image inside this URL function. Make sure you write it in a quote, because if there is any space between your address of your image, then it may break. So it is better to write quotes for your value. But make sure that if style attribute itself has value written in double quotes, then inside this URL you should write it in single quote. And if style has value written in single quote, for then you can use double quotes for this URL. Of course, there are solutions to this, but for now, to learn the basic, you just have to look at the quotes. If outside is double quote, inside you have to use single quote. If outside single quote is used, you have to use double quotes inside. Okay, so this image is there in the URL function, and when I run the code, see this output. This paragraph has background image. Let me increase the content of the paragraph so you can see the image clearly. Okay, so this is a girl image which is getting replicated horizontally and vertically as well, because when image does not fits into the space, it just repeat itself. We will come to that point. First, see how image is getting applied. This is the code for that image, and it is getting applied to the second paragraph only, not the first one, because we have used inline style sheet for that. And when you use that, the image is getting shown. It is not filled or not fit to the document for now. It is how it looks, but we will do some modifications in order to fit it to the document. If you want to use, let's say, internal CSS, then this code you will be writing for the paragraph tag, and if there are multiple paragraphs, it will apply to the multiple paragraphs as well. So this is the code which we have written in internal CSS, and that is getting applied here as output. But if you look at it, image is not getting fit, right? Only the head portion we can see. And as I mentioned, it repeats itself. Then if I decrease the zoom size, then you can see the image is getting repeated again and again, horizontally and vertically as well, and it is not fitting that output area, right? Let me reset it again, and we can see the output when we reset like this. Now the background repeat option is by default enabled. If you want to disable it, we will use another property which is background repeat no repeat, and this property value combination will stop it from repeating itself. See, here I have used background repeat no repeat to the same body element. So instead of paragraph, I am writing it to the body element, and it is getting applied as a background. Now see, when I don't have background repeat, it repeats itself, and when I have background repeat enabled, no repeat as a value, then it is not repeating. Let's see other properties like background attachment, background size, and here we are going to see how different sizes you can give to the background. By default it has the original size as we have seen, and if it is not enough, it will repeat itself. Now let's see other properties and values. So I am running this code, and here if you see background size cover is written. Instead of that, I can write content as well. See how content works. So content contains the area in such a way that image will be purely visible. So image is clearly visible to us, none of its area is getting cut, but whatever size we have as a body or as output, that is getting highlighted as your background only as a white color, because that is not something which image covers, because the image value, image size value we had is contained. If we don't have any value to the image size, as we can see on my screen, the image expands itself to the original size. If we write cover, then image covers the whole area, and there is no space which is showing you the background color, which is white color. So image will cover all the area if you apply background size cover. So background size cover covers entire area, and if you want, you can write contain instead of this cover to the background size property. And when you do that, let me write contain value here, and when I run this, you will be able to see background image will be purely or clearly visible to the eyes, and there is no area getting cut, but the background color, which is white color by default of the body, will be visible to us, because that area is not covered by the image, but image is contained in our area, the whole area. So now it is up to you how you want to give it, right? So a background attachment is also here, but before I show you that, I have to increase the content to create the scroll bar here. And if you see, only the content is getting scrolled, right? And that is only because background attachment property value is fixed. I have removed it, and now if I scroll, the background image is also getting scrolled. And if I keep that background size fixed, then background image will not scroll. Okay, you can also stretch the background. For that, instead of cover or contain, you just have to write width and height of the image you want. So to the same background size property, I have written 100% width and 100% height, and it has scaled itself to the 100% width and height. Now our last chapter is picture tag of our current video, and picture tag is HTML5 element. It can be acted as an alternative to the image tag. but it has something more than the image tag. Image tag shows you only one image, but the picture tag has the potential to show you multiple images, and that too as per the device sizes or the resolution. Let me show you the code and the output so you can better understand it. Okay, so here on my screen picture tag is written. Picture tag is a non-empty tag, so you have to close it. But inside that there are source tag and image tag as well, which are non-empty tag, and you can write image tag as is, as you were writing previously. But there are two additional tags which are source tag, and this source tag you can write multiple times. So we have written it for media attribute. There is there, you can see we have written it for media minimum width 650 and above, and there is another source tag written for another media, and there are two src sets, one for one source tag and one for another. The src set is a set of image paths or images which will be shown to the user as per the device width. So here media attribute is given, to which minimum width 650 pixel is applied. So whenever it is minimum, you can consider that is as a starting point. So any value above 650 will be considered by this source tag, and to those users who have resolution means width of their devices above 650, they will see the src set which is written here image food.jpg. So that food.jpg will be visible to the users who has 650 and above width of their screen size. And for the users who have, let's say, 465 pixels and above, but till 650 pixels, because we have 650 pixels source tag there, right? So any device which is 465 and above will see car image, and if any device does not meet both the criteria, they will see the image tag by default, which is written below the source tag. Now you can see the car image on my screen. If I resize the browser window, let me resize it. The girl image is the default one. If I resize it more to the wide screen, you will see the food image. So this is getting shown to different device sizes. The by default image is girl image, which is written in image tag inside picture tag, which is the default image. Any user who has more than 465 pixels width will see the car image, and the user who has 650 pixels and above will see the food image. You can see the window size, it is getting increased, and now when it reaches to the 465 it shows you the car image, and when it reaches 650 pixels it will show you the food image. Now we are below 465, so we see the girl image. We are above 465, so we see the car image, and if we go till 650 we will see car image only, but beyond 650 pixels we will see the food image, which is given here in the src set. Just see the output. I'm resizing the window, and here we are at 650 pixels, and we are able to see the food image. So this is the way to show different images to the different users, and you can achieve this in responsive web designing with the help of picture element. So mobile user will see a different image, tablet users will see a different, and desktop users see a different image. So we have covered entire image chapter of HTML in this one video. I hope you like the video. If you like it, press like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, otherwise you won't get the updates whenever I upload the video. Share this video with your friends and family or whoever is interested to learn web development, so that they can subscribe and watch other tutorials and this tutorial as well. And thank you for watching. Have a good time.